Hello, everyone. So we're approaching this Mars opposition, Mars in Libra, opposing the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries. I want to offer a brief insight on this opposition. As always, oppositions are very catalyzing. We're dealing with this long-term Saturn-Neptune process of rearranging, disillusioning the meaning, the investments that we've given into the roles, who I am in society, my sense of identity, the structures that I'm playing out, that which I've given meaning to. A lot of that is falling away as something more essential and true and meaningful is beginning to reveal itself from a much more deeper, authentic, loving place. Now, Mars being the ruler of Aries is really catalyzing all of this, and Mars is always instigating the edge of our evolutionary activity. A strong Mars transit says there's content arising, and the question is always, how are we going to respond to it? What are we going to do? As long as there's more work to do on this evolutionary journey, we're not going to be passive with the Mars experience. Even if we're sitting quiet and doing nothing, there's going to be an internal transmutational process. So the core question with Mars is, how are we going to meet and grow and evolve and choose along with the energies that are arising? The Mars and Libra dynamic is emphasizing this diligence, this maturity and leadership to protect and defend the energy of balance. But we don't know balance. We say yes when we don't really have the availability to give. We expect things from others that they actually cannot give to us. Relationship is this journey, but oftentimes many of the resentments that we carry because of how people have treated us or what was done to us or where things felt unfair, if we really look at it honestly, the remedy, the teaching is, I didn't know myself back then. I didn't know myself. I didn't know my purpose. I didn't know what I was living for. So much of what we carry and we hold on to is simply the result of having not yet matured. And as we're maturing, it clarifies the past. So as we clarify these pieces within ourselves, we remember, this is what I need. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm living for. And it becomes simple. I'm going to entertain this and I'm not entertaining that. Like, there are certain relational dynamics and experiences in life that we're just simply not available for. And so they're just not where we're going to be putting our energy. But until we know that, we're going to be putting our energy towards a whole lot of things that really isn't in our highest interest, other than it's a part of our learning. So one thing that we really need to work through with this transit, seeing that we're looking at Saturn, Neptune, which is the disillusionment of our judgment, our moralistic ideas, and it has to be this way relative to Libra. I have to be, you have to be this way. Facing judgments, not being afraid of judgment. Other people might say, you're wrong for not wanting to do this, or you're wrong for choosing this path, or I need you to be this for me, or you're expected by society to show up in this way. Don't be afraid of that, because these are our own internal judgments, and this is exactly where forgiveness wants to happen. Until we can really see where we've held ourselves in this place that is compromising for ourselves, we won't really be able to forgive the world. We'll still feel like we're being oppressed and judged and pushed, but it really comes back down to our own personal commitment to be true to ourselves. And that's the only basis from which we can be authentic and balanced in all of our relationships. It's our own clear-headedness, our ability to be in the face of confrontation and difficulty, and to not move from shame or guilt or fear or role-playing, but from an authentic sense of purpose that actually allows us to be an instrument to carry much greater responsibility in the world that can actually bring a lot of healing. But it comes from this fidelity to our path, not this role of, I'm going to be the peacekeeper. There's, often a lot of exhaustion and depletion in those that are just doing so work to make the peace and mediate. There's a more effective and more balanced way that we can move with this energy that comes from an authentic sense of purpose, where we're actually energized by the path. It's not depleting. It's not an uphill battle. Because in this case, we're not attached to the outcome as much as we're impassioned by purpose. And that's a significant difference. I want to add one more thought to this last point. There is a very strong calling in this signature to be standing in our strength, in protecting and defending what is right and what is just. The possibility of this getting very mixed up with shaming and judgment is strong. It's a call-out culture. Mars in Libra is like, you did something inappropriate, or you didn't say that right, I'm calling you out, right? You're not being sensitive enough, I'm calling you out. And we're not here to be each other's judge, but there is a calling to stand in our strength. And there's a way of doing that that does it with respect to what it is we're truly, truly living for, not creating more shame and division and hurt and violence in the world for the sake of speaking out for those that are being hurt violently and divided, right? We end up affecting our own violence without realizing it. I mean, the thing about Mars is a separating energy because it's going out, it's moving, right? And that's a part of it. Everything has its own consequence. Every action has its own karma. But when we generate this energy that's creating more of what we're fighting against, we're projecting actually our own internalized guilt and shame and asking the world to absorb it for us. How dare you? Shame on you. All that kind of stuff does not help. So being strong, being clear, is just knowing how to be true to our own deep internal sense of rightness. And we can hold that, and it's done not to hurt another, not to be right or prove how unconscious another person is. I mean, I'll give you an example. I was talking to a friend last night who made a statement about Muslims according to their religion, and some text that says, you know, it's in their religion, it's in their culture to be violent. I'm like, no, stop right there. There might be, I don't know, there might be violent content in the Quran. There's a lot of violent content in the Torah. There's a lot of violent content in Talmudic literature. So, in most religions, there's going to be probably some violent teachings or content or, you know, beliefs that are shared, that are taught. However, we don't judge people according to their religion. We judge people according to their actions. And I know a lot of Muslims who are very kind, loving, peaceful people. I know a lot of Christians and Jews who are not. So human beings will choose to be the person that they want to be, and they'll justify that according to their religion. There can be a whole lot of negative, violent stuff written somewhere in their religion, but if that's not who they are, they're not going to draw upon that. They'll find the good parts. We're always going to reference our religious doctrines according to the person that we want to become. So I stopped him right there. I wasn't going to have a conversation where that generalization about Muslims was going to be brought forward without me saying something. And I wasn't saying it to shame him. I was just saying, no, here's what's actually true. I was correcting his judgment. And we can do that. And we'll know, it's like, I'm not here to get into an argument. I'm not, it's like the energy with which it's held is just clarity. When we come from that place, this is a very strong Aries Libra piece. When we come from that place, we know that it won't matter whether the other person understands it or not, respects it or not, agrees or not. Because it's more a matter of us saying, this is where I am, this is where I'm available, this is what I can offer. And they might see the strength of that, and that actually might inspire, I mean, this man totally heard me, and that's wonderful. I feel that's a blessing that he was able to hear that, because sort of his assumption can easily be ignored or acquiesced or be polite or don't correct him, right? Or get into an argument. But the strength of my correction was very helpful for him. The point is, I wasn't looking to change him. I was just following my own inner guidance to offer correction where it was needed. So that's a powerful thing with this Mars and Libra opposite Saturn and Neptune in Aries. Live your morality. Don't be afraid to be strong. And your boundaries are your boundaries. Your morality is your morality. It actually has nothing to do with other people. So people may not want to respect it, but because it's yours, you're going to respect it. That's like in a relationship where it's like the idea of not entertaining someone's behavior. It's not so much a matter of, I'm not going to put up with that, because there's a lot of anger and resentment and better than-ness in that. It's more a matter of, I'm not joining another person on that level. So someone might be here trying to find drama. I'm not going to meet them there. And they might join me up here or not. But I'm not going to shift my vibration to fight or defend against that. The highest defense is its lack. The highest defense is defenselessness. Like the highest defense is the clarification of our own vibration. And it's not a weakness. It's staying strong and clear in continually affirming who we choose to be. And that might mean saying no, but we don't argue about it. Often our arguments are because Libra, we want the other person to approve of us. We want the other person to understand us, to get us and want to give us what we want them to give us. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes it's like, sorry, I'm not available for that. No, I'm not going to give that. No, I'm not going to do this for you. No, I'm not going to make this change. No, I'm not going to, whatever it might be that another person might be drawing from us. And so we keep our peace, and we can even see another person in a loving way, because we're not going to build resentment, because we're not going to compromise ourselves. So that immaturity that I was speaking about, so much of the compromise that happens within this Libra realm is fundamentally because on some deep level, we're needing something from the other. We're needing their approval until we stop remaining true to ourselves. When we stop compromising ourselves, we preserve our peace. We preserve clear perception. We can remain non-judgmental. But what do we let go of? We let go of the need for approval. We let go of needing to be accepted by others. But really, are we really losing anything? Because if we can't accept ourselves, if we can't be at peace for being who we are and being true to ourselves, it matters not the acceptance we seem to be getting from the world. We will never find our own happiness until we can get beyond our own self-judgment. As always, check out the description below. I have my training program, my sessions, my membership community. For those that are in Europe or in France, we're going to be up in Paris. I'll be teaching the 15th and the 16th of this month, this year. So check it all out, and thank you for watching.